Welcome everyone. I'm Barbara Hale, Waterwise's Marketing and Business Development Manager. Today I'll be interviewing Lydia Makin. Would you like to introduce yourself, Lydia?
Thanks, Barbara. Yeah, I'm Lydia Makin, Policy and Projects Manager at Waterwise, and I've been here 2 years.
Great. First question, what's your PCC, if you know it?
So I worked pretty hard to try and find out, but unfortunately I wasn't able to. I live in a block of flats in London and we're not sub-metered, so we only know the usage for the whole block. And I did try and get a meter internally fitted, but because we're also fed by a tank in the attic, so I actually have two lots of water coming into the flat, one for the bathroom, one for the kitchen. It's a really old, badly designed block of flats, so unfortunately I couldn't get a meter, so I don't know.
Well, I mean, it sounds like you tried hard anyway.
Yeah.
Well, what have you done at Waterwise that you're very proud of?
So I'm definitely most proud of starting the Welsh Water Efficiency Group. So we've been going just over a year, and it's a group of people, all the stakeholders to do with water efficiency in Wales, so Welsh Government, NRW, CCW, HD and Welsh Water, and one or two other stakeholders as well. And we come together every month, and we've done some really good things together. So that was something that I really, when I started this role, wanted to get started. And with the help of kind of some enthusiastic people in Welsh Government and Welsh Water, we've managed to make that happen. And it's a great group and a great bunch of people all trying to reduce water use in Wales.
Wow, yeah, that's great. I can't imagine Waterwise would have been able to do this without you, so well done. Right, so next question. Which place in the UK do you love and why?
So those people that will know me will know that I sort of live between Wales and London, and I have done for the last kind of 10 years. I've either lived in Wales or London, and they're really completely different places. So I think I'm going to actually go for London, and my where I live at the moment in Stoke Newington is in the borough of Hackney. I love it because it's actually quite a green part of London. We've got Clissold Park just down the road, and it's a really diverse part of London that it has some amazing history, and there's kind of a lot of cultures all kind of converge in one place there, and I think that's something that is really special to London and that Wales definitely doesn't have. So I think I'll go for Clissold Park in Hackney, will be my favourite place to be.
That sounds good. Yeah, London was mine too. What would your superpower be?
Oh wow. The first thing that came into my head was to be able to biodegrade plastic. I don't know if that's a real eco one, but yeah, I mean that would be great. I think people are starting to be able to do that with various fungus and worms and things that can biodegrade plastic. And but yeah, I suppose that would solve a lot of problems if we could do that with one fell sweep of a wand or something. Just get rid of all that plastic that already exists. So I think that was the first one that came into my head, so I'll go with that one.
Well, it definitely would make a massive difference. What book or film would you recommend to newsletter readers?
Oh wow. Well, I'll go with the one we're reading at the moment. So at Waterwise we have a book club. So every sort of month or two we have a book that we would all read, and then we'll feedback. And we've got our book club meeting today. So we've been reading the Michelle Obama autobiography called Becoming, and I am not quite finished, so I'm not going to quite finish the book before book club. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I did watch the Netflix documentary as well that goes along with it. And I mean, I think she obviously is inspirational, and she's done a lot of amazing things. And so far in her autobiography, she's spoken about her childhood, which was very normal, and I'm sure very stereotypical of lots of families growing up in that time in that part of the world. So yeah, I think she's really interesting because she's first and foremost known as the First Lady and as a wife, but she's very much a kind of formidable character in her own right. So I think there's a bit of a kind of dichotomy in her personality in terms of her being like a mother and a wife and a supporter to one of the world's most powerful men, but also she is in her own right amazing. So yeah, I'll go with Michelle Obama Becoming.
Great. I can't wait to. discuss this in the book club. Sounds great. Right, can you give us one of your top survival tips for lockdown?
Wow. The way I've tried to keep my routine going has been to get up and first thing to get out of the house. So I've just done it every day pretty much for a year, is to get up and go for a walk in the morning. I find that if I leave it till the afternoon, lunchtime or evening to go for a walk, I just get too lazy. So I just have to get up and get some fresh air first thing. I've been quite lucky in Stoke Newington where I live. I've got quite a few local friends, so I've been able to go for walks with them. And even though it's it's been a bit dark and dreary over the last few months, but I feel a bit more hopeful going into spring, and the evenings are a bit lighter and the mornings are lighter. So being able to go for walks with people around work hours is becoming more possible. So I think, I know it's hard for people that live in London and live in flats where there's no garden and we've not got a balcony, but just getting out to any green space, I think that's been what most people have said, I think, in their tips for lockdown. But that would definitely be mine as well.
Yeah, sounds like I should definitely try this. It's quite hard. Yeah, it's quite hard if you leave it too late.
Yeah.
Okay, and the final question for today. Can you tell us something that you're grateful for?
Well, this week I've been really grateful that the Professional Squash Association League has started again. So those of you who know me will know that I'm a bit squash mad. I love playing squash and my family are a big squash family. So there's been a tournament in Egypt, a world tournament in Egypt this week. So every night I've been watching the squash for hours. My brother also plays professionally, so he was in that tournament. So it's nice to watch him and on there. So I'm just really grateful for some live sport to be back, especially squash. So glad that that's sort of been able to resume after a year. But it's super interesting to see all the players having had a year off, obviously having to maintain that level of fitness and things over a year with no tournaments. It's really interesting to see what they've come back like. So grateful for the squash.
Well, that sounds great, and well done to your brother for playing in the World League tournament. Well, thank you for the interview. That was really great, and hopefully speak to you soon.
Thanks, Barbara.